Hi all. So in this video we are going to start off with a new section, that is Elastic Cloud Compute, which is basically called as EC2, and in this we are going to learn about how we launch virtual machines and how we actually manage them overall when we are dealing with those components in the cloud. So let's first quickly have an introduction about what is EC2, and then we'll have a practical part of lab on this. So what is EC2? So Amazon Elastic Cloud Compute is a web service that provides resizable compute capacity in the cloud. Amazon EC2 reduces the time required to obtain and boot new server instances to minutes, allowing you to quickly scale capacity both up and down as your computing requirements change, which means it's basically a virtual machine in the cloud, and I'll be able to resize it as and when my requirements change. As well, I'll be able to create a new one within few minutes as well. Amazon EC2 changes the economics of computing by allowing you to only pay for the capacity that you actually use. So if I'm going to make use of a virtual machine for 1 single hour, I'm only going to pay the charges that are incurring for that specific hour. Amazon EC2 also provides developers the tools to build failure resilient applications and isolate themselves from the common failure scenarios. So when we have a virtual machine in the cloud, most of the components and their physical problems would be taken care by the Amazon itself. So virtual machine is nothing but a computer or a laptop which has got the following important 6 components. So if you look at the diagram, we have operating system, we have CPU, that is central processing unit, hard disk, which could be either a SSD drive or a magnetic, and then we have RAM, and then firewall or the security, and then network access card. So these are the 6 important components of any computer or a laptop or a virtual machine. So with these 6 components, we are going to go ahead and learn about how to do a practical part of lab on our EC2 section. Now navigating towards the AWS console. So this is my AWS dashboard. I'll go down to the services. In the compute section, the very first service that we have is EC2. So we see that this is the dashboard of the EC2 section, where we are able to see what all resources are actually created. So I already have one EC2 instance which is up and running. It has got one volume which is attached to it. There are 3 key pairs in my AWS account in the Mumbai region, and then it has got 0 placement groups, some 11 security groups, 0 load balancers, 0 snapshots, and 0 elastic IPs. As we see the EC2 service, this is basically a region based, right? So I have to select specific region in which I want to create the virtual machines and manage them. So currently we are in the Asia Pacific Mumbai because this is the nearest region to my location. And if I scroll the page little down, you get an option to launch EC2 instance, which is nothing but a virtual server or a virtual machine, we call it as. And if I scroll the page a little more down, it basically talks about the service health. So how is Asia Pacific Mumbai region currently operating? So it is everything is in the green status, which means the service health status appears to be good. And in Mumbai region, we have 2 availability zones, AP South 1A, AP South 1B, and both of them are also operating normally. So in case if there is any scheduled event for any of the availability zones, you should be able to see it by prior information itself on this scheduled events. Scrolling up on the right hand side, we would be able to see what is the default VPC currently available for the Mumbai region. And if you want additional information regarding the documentation of the EC2 section, we will be able to get it from here. And then there is a AWS marketplace from where we should be able to purchase the machine images from the third party companies. So let's go ahead and start learning about how we launch our first EC2 instance. So there we go. Remember the 6 important components of a computer, that is operating system. So the step 1 is about choosing an operating system. So here I'm saying that I'm going to go ahead with Amazon Linux AMI, which comes under eligibility of the free tier. Usually whenever we create a free account in the AWS, we get 750 hours of virtual machines per month for free. So here we have other images as well. If you want to go ahead and spin up Red Hat Linux, you can go with it. If you want to create a SUSE Linux, you may want to use this. If you want to create a Ubuntu server, even that is available as a part of free tier. And if I scroll the page little down, I also get Microsoft Windows Server 2019, 2016 as well. And then we also have 2012. So there are numerous images which are available, but in case you want to ensure that you are under the free tier eligibility, there is a flag which you want to enable it. So this is going to showcase only the free tier images which are applicable for our creation of virtual machines. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up Amazon Linux AMI here. So I'll say select, and the next is we are going to select how much capacity of CPU and RAM my system should have. So here also we have to ensure that we are selecting the free tier eligibility. If not, we'll have to incur some charges on our AWS account. So I'll be selecting T2 Micro, which is the only free tier eligible, which comes with one virtual CPU and 1 GB of RAM. Next, we have to configure the EC2 instance networking part. So if you remember, there was one other important component which was nothing but network card. Let me open up that diagram. So we have completed the step 1 with the operating system, step 2 with the CPU and RAM, and now the step 3 is about configuring the network card so that we have access to the internet, as well from the internet we should be able to connect to this virtual machine. So here you can see the network, and it talks about the default VPC, which is by default available whenever we create a new AWS account. And currently subnet, we have 2 subnets. Basically the 2 subnets are defined as a part of 2 availability zones in Mumbai region. So I do not have any specific preference. Automatically Amazon would select a specific subnet and it will launch off this EC2 instance. But only thing to ensure is we enable the public IP address setting. So you can see here it is in enable mode. Rest of the options I will leave it as a default, and then go ahead and add, that is step number 4, where we are going to assign the storage part. So I'm going to go ahead and select 8 GB of hard disk, which is going to be the root volume, or we can say as a C drive when we are dealing with a Windows based machine. So this is going to be my root volume, which is going to be of size 8 GB. So we are going to choose general purpose SSD volume, which is one of the types. You may also want to choose provisioned IOPS or magnetic standard as well, depending upon the use case. As a free tier, we usually get up to 30 GB of general purpose SSD volumes or magnetic storage for free. So if you want to go with provisioned IOPS, then you may have to pay extra money. So I'm going to choose general purpose SSD here, and then go ahead and add the tags. So I'll give it as name, my first VM, and then this is with the team developer, and then belonging to department ABC. I'll go ahead and say configure the security group next. So security group is just like a firewall which helps me to protect my machine. Since this is a Linux box, I'm going to go ahead and create a new security group, which would be with the name Linux SSH SG. So Linux virtual machines basically operate on the port number 22 if you want to log in over, and that is basically called as SSH protocol. So I'm going to give the name for my security group as Linux SSH SG. I'll put the same in the description, and I'm going to open up the port number 22 for the entire world, that is 0.0.0.0/0, which means any IP address from anywhere on the world will be able to log in into this EC2 instance. I'll say review and launch, and finally we get an option to review all the steps. So remember, the step 1 is the place where we have chosen the AMI. Step 2 is the place where we have chosen the machine size with the RAM and the CPU capability. Step 3 is the place where we have chosen the network, that is default VPC, and step 4 is the place where we have put across the size of root volume. Step 5 is basically the place where we are going to add the tags so that we can go ahead and organize as well search in case if we want to search it with a specific team name. And then finally we have configured the security group where we are opening up a specific port for logging into this virtual machine. And now finally reviewing this details, I'll go ahead and say launch. So while we launch the machine, it is going to ask you for a key pair. So there are two ways in which we can log in into a Linux machine. There is one way which is user ID and the password, and the second way is user ID and the key pair. So user ID and the key pair is as equal as the way we have a physical lock and a physical key in order to open it out. So I'll just say I would like to create a new one, and I would say my first AWS key pair. So I'm going to go ahead and download this key pair because this is the first and the last time you get an option to download this. So unless you do not download, you do not get an option to launch this EC2 instance. So first let's download this. So it has been successfully downloaded. Now I'll go ahead and launch this EC2 instance. So it may take few seconds for this Linux machine to come up. In the meantime, I'll just go ahead and open this file and see the contents in this my first AWS keypair.pem file. So as we see, these are the contents inside the specific file, which is like a encrypted key. But we'll not be able to use this key in order to log in into the machine because I am using a Windows laptop or a desktop. So I need to convert this PEM file into PPK file. So let's do that first. So here is my PEM file, my first AWS key pair, and I need to have a software which is with the name PuttyGen, which is helping me to convert this PEM file into PPK. So I'll open up this PuttyGen. I'll say file, load private key, and it will ask you which is that specific file. So I'll say all files here, and the name is my first AWS key pair. This is the one. I'll open it up. And then here you get an option to save the private key. Just click on this and it will ask you, are you sure you want to save this key without a paraphrase to protect it? I'll say yes. And again, I'm going to give the name. So I'll save it with the same name, but the extension will be PPK. So as we see here, this is the PPK extension. I'll just save this file. I'll refresh the page. So you can see here I have a PEM file and the PPK file, which you can see as the extension as well. Now I'm going to use the Putty terminal in order to log in into this virtual machine. So first thing is I need to have a public IP address of the virtual machine. So this is the virtual machine which we have just now created. I'll go ahead and grab the public IP address and put across the public IP address here. Then in the appearance, I'm just going to change the font size so that we will be able to view it better. And then in the SSH auth, I just need to pass this PPK file. If everything goes well, I should be getting a Putty security alert, which is going to verify the key fingerprint. I'll say yes, and thereby we are going to log in into our first virtual machine on the AWS cloud. So there we go. We have now successfully logged in into the AWS cloud's first virtual machine. With this, we'll wrap up the video and we'll continue to explore the next part of our EC2 section in the upcoming video.